This is the Coin It Podcast, sponsored by coincosmo.com.
But I think overall, I mean, would you say, like, as far as retail and coins, probably the main area of the biggest the biggest popularity in coins would be like the late 50s, early 60s? Or would you say it's more now even? I don't know. It's hard for me to say. I feel like back then it was more of a retail thing. You know what I mean? Like a lot of kids collect.
Are you talking about the expansion of the business?
Yeah. So just like as far as popularity in collecting coins.
We're in it right now.
Yeah, you think so?
This is the biggest expansion of the collecting hobby of all time.
Interesting.
Why?
Interesting.
Why? Think about it. You and I have never stood in the same room together, but we get to connect.
Yeah.
We're strangers to each other other than we like collectibles. I don't mean to be, true. I'm being raw here for a second. But think about how many common people who have never been introduced to each other get introduced because of social media. And quite honestly, I'm not trying to say you're going to take something away of, you're going to expand your collection because you got to speak with me about collecting coins. But, every night of the week, you could talk to a new collector about what he's collecting and get motivated and interested and enriched and given more knowledge. The more knowledge you have, the more expanding of your collection you'll have.
There's more engagement.
And it's because of these devices that we have that have expanded the market so much more. But no, when I see different things where there seems to be a fall off, there's gain other places that people haven't even looked at of interest. But the collecting interest is bigger now than it ever has been in the history of collecting coins. And think about it. The grading services, I'll use a round number. Mm. In 1984, when I was at ANAX, it was the only grading service at the time. I don't think they had one in Dallas. I don't know what their volumes were, so I'm going to say a few thousand coins a month. But ANAX was doing about 8,000 coins a month in certification. 1984. 8,000 coins a month between 8,000 coins between both grading services gets done before 10 o'clock in the morning.
That's right. Yeah.
Combined.
You're right.
And that's probably, obviously I know the grading services volumes pretty well. But you think about, so you tell me, is the market bigger today or is it 1984?
Yeah, I guess it is. I mean, it's interesting. You're right about that. And definitely in grading for sure, because the grading services sort of like they've proven themselves. It's established over the years.
Well,
and it's
even if you argue for a moment, you say, Miles, well, that's just the grading side. That's just the grading side. Well, it's 25-fold. Don't you think the non-grading side has sped up also? A multiple?
Yeah, I think in general collectibles, it's
I'm not arguing.
Huge,
I'm not arguing with you. I'm making you think about that for a second. If certified coins, let's say the grading services grade 100,000 coins a week,
right?
Between two of them, that's a very round number. 100,000 coins a week. Well, think about how many times fold that is of what it was 35 years ago.
Yeah, it's crazy growth. Yeah.
And so you have to think that whatever the collecting base was of non-certified coins in 1984 was, that numbers had to have jumped too.
It's interesting.
Quite a bit.
It's interesting.
Quite a bit.
You know what?
But But we're located more places now. I didn't talk to somebody. I mean, I talked to people all over the United States in the 80s and 90s. I talked to people in 4 different countries before 12 o'clock some days.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. And remember in the 80s or 90s, that was an expensive long distance charge.
Oh man. Yeah.
Nobody,
sure.
A young person today doesn't know that phone call used to be quote expensive.
Yeah.
There weren't applications.
Long distance.
Yeah. There weren't applications for me to talk to Australia tonight for free.
Yeah. Okay? So true. Yeah.
But yeah, I might talk to 4 different countries before noon now today. And
that's
it's
interesting.
commonplace.
It's interesting. So I think a lot of it is just perception to me. Like for some reason in my brain, it's like, I feel like in general popularity, I'm thinking, oh yeah, coins was big and a lot of kids collected in the late 50s, early 60s. That seemed the era of the coin shop and the retail business and kids coming in and stuff like that. But you're right. You're 100% right. Like if you look at the numbers and the statistics, it's probably now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty bold of me to say that, but
but it makes sense.
I can't tell you what was going on in the 1960s. Okay. I really can't. I mean, I was born in 64.
Yeah. This is before your time.
I can't say that I know that. I can't say that I know that, but I would tell you post 1980, I mean,
things have really started to accelerate since then.
Yeah. But if it's a lot bigger now than it was in 1980, then those 1960s or 1970 collectors couldn't have just gone poof and gone away.
No,
I just think it grew. No different than most things that grew.
Yeah.
We can compare it to a lot of things. But the expansion of the market globally contributed. The growth is contributed to the global growth, but even in this country, I think the expansion of it. I mean, look at eBay on a nightly basis. How many coins are listed?
Oh my gosh,
it's crazy. That are typically sold in the U.S. There was nothing. We didn't. We were so far behind in technology. We really didn't know what was going on.
Right. Well, eBay built a whole business on it. They got a whole division that's just coins.
Sure.
So
sure. Yeah. Absolutely. And you have all the other auctions. You got Heritage Weekly auctions. You got Great Collections Weekly auctions, Stax Powers. I mean, they're all rocking and rolling. Those things were few and far between, back in the 80s. You had Teletrade, which was a phone dial-up auction. But
that's right,
yeah. That's all changed. The live auctions have gotten a lot bigger, $2 wise.
Yeah, that's true.
A lot of pressure. It's a great hobby that expanded. Now, I will tell you this: in the early 90s, late 80s, we had a lot of discussion. When you sit in a dark room grading coins, there's sometimes the discussion swung around saying, is our business, is the industry shrinking? Because you go to a coin show, you don't see any young people. But you go to, you watch on Instagram, there's a lot of young people on Instagram.
I've been
I gotta tell you, there's more, when the youth was raving in the 70s and 80s at a coin show, it's nothing compared to what it is on an Instagram night.
That's right. Yeah. No, I mean, Instagram too. It's either, but that's the thing. Is it the tools that are driving that growth amongst the younger kids now, or is it just the ability to showcase it? And they were already there.
It's the showcasing. It's like I was on an Instagram group. There was 4 or 5 young people that were, 18 to 23. And I was blown away by their spectrum of knowledge.
Yeah, right.
It was really great to hear. But I think that, they had a place where it was safe to talk about it. Like they found other people that related to them.
That's right. Yeah.
And sometimes that's really hard to do.
Sure.
It's like I can't walk out my driveway and say, "Hey, world, anybody around here want to talk to Miles about coins?"
Right.
It's a lot easier because of Instagram.
Exactly.
Creates that private space for you to say, "Yeah, let's talk about coins," and or talk about the history of coins or the history of the coin business or the grading business, and they're just that's what this whole social media thing has done.
Yeah.